Welcome to the 10-acre woods. If you look behind me, you'll see that winter has arrived. Today it has gone down substantially. So we had it was really wet snow, a lot of downed power lines in the province of Manitoba. And yesterday, on Saturday, Manitoba actually declared an emergency. So there's been more than 100,000 people that have been without power just because of the ice and the heavy snow that's on the lines and on trees. Because there's still quite a few leaves on the trees, they have downed a lot of power lines. So it hasn't been that bad here in eastern Manitoba, but in sections of central southern Manitoba and even down into North Dakota, quite a bit of snow here in Manitoba. We got a little lucky. You can see here there is not much left. I went and I brought out the snowblower yesterday. We've only got a couple inches there now. We had about 6 to 8 inches of wet snow. Now going on to the animals here. So here is Chinook and Esme. Chinook's on the right and Esme's on the left here. So he just follows her around. Chinook will follow Esme around. She's kind of the dominant one of the two, and he has been years ago. From my understanding, he was a little rebel when he was younger. He has now been since fixed. They do have their harnesses still on. Now there was somebody that pointed that out in the last video. We will be taking those off. They can get hung up on trees and whatnot, but we wanted to keep them on just to make sure that if they did get out, that we could fairly easily get them back. We had something to grab a hold of them. They are in a new area. The other night, it was Friday night, up here on the highway, we saw a car that stopped. And it was actually some cows from across the street had gotten out and had started walking down the highway. So I did a walk around just to make sure it wasn't the donkeys, and it wasn't. So they were safely in here. So they are in the area with the boys. Billy. these rebels here. Oh, you guys are hilarious. So they, whenever there's food around and they go over to another pile, Billy will go and make all these crazy noises you'll hear if you're up on the deck and kind of just standing there having a coffee. They're crazy. They don't injure each other. They just, nicely, Levi there will kind of raise his foot and kind of push one of them away, but it's not necessarily a kick. So they are good to each other. They're just being boys, aren't you? So we did put food out over at their house area, over on the other section, and that was for the donkeys, but they have made their way over here, and this morning they were in fairly close quarters, right up along these boys, and they don't seem to mind them, so everything seems to be working out good. Something else that you may ask is, a couple videos ago I showed you a pen down at our barn at the end of the driveway. There is an isolation pen for larger animals that we have down there. We didn't put Chinook and Esme in there just because they share the same farrier slash vet tech. So we kind of know what they're like, and we know their history. So there wasn't any concerns there. So we moved them directly into the front pen just because we did know their history. Now, if we had animals in, larger animals like these donkeys, and we didn't know their history, then we would definitely want to put them in isolation area just to make sure that there's no surprises happening. But they're in good health. Little overweight. Esme is a little bit big. Some of you have commented, is she pregnant? I think it's Santhus is one of them. He was like, he saw the thumbnail and thought, oh, it's, expecting baby donkeys. But no, so Chinook is fixed. Wow, with this sun coming out, this snow may just all melt. Let's hope. We're we think we're ready for winter. There's a few things. We got to put a couple hoses away, but you're never truly ready for winter or the snow. So we did get some more hay. So this is our barbecue shelter, barbecue area. So this is originally it's a portable garage, one of those portable garages that you put up. And we built it in because it had flipped on us and blown away. So we actually built in some wood framing around it to secure it. And then we put this tarp over it for wintertime. So Tara had received, I believe there's about 100 bales of hay in here. So this is perfect. And then, of course, here's, we've got a fridge and we've got the barbecue here. So this is kind of the barbecuing area for the winter months. So we did get that filled up. So there were 200 bales that she got in. The other is kind of around the corner here. In the new rabbit shelter that we built, or the expanded rabbit shelter, we'll call it, with the new roof. So that is doing great. So here is so this is the building that the donkeys are going in. And Levi tends to really like the small building, which is the old chicken coop. So he usually hangs in there with his two goat buddies. So here is the new roof that we put on, working well. We used some scrap steel for this section here. Well, actually for this side. The other side is all new steel. It's always good to use what you have. Now there has been, somebody did make a comment, and I keep on meaning to do it. There is some old wiring there that's hanging down. It is not energized. But I need to cut that off and get that cleaned up. So there's no concern with an electric shock. It isn't live wiring. So I believe there's 100 bales of hay that is in here. We had somebody donate a storm door, so that's great. So I think we're going to put that on here. And Tara had put up some poly along the side here. So this is just I don't know if it's permanent. It might be just a temporary thing we do during the winter months, because it's nice to have this open. Now there is electric wiring that does go along the side of this building here. Now, just to make sure, she had a bunch of scrap 2x4s. So she built this whole wall out of 2x4s because, of course, the goats, if you got to make sure you reinforce things. So here's the top. It's all built out of 2x6s, expanded over. And even with all that snow, we didn't get any snow coming in here. So that's great. Probably because this building is blocking it. Prevailing winds kind of come from this direction here. We have these old fence pieces that were donated to us. So I think she wants to mount that there and just kind of have a smaller opening here. She has another kind of fence piece there. So we're going to do something with that. Possibly a sliding door, one that's secure and one that slides, since we do have some equipment, some hardware for that. So that is the new area. This storm door, I think, is going to go on this here, but of course it has no hinges. So we're going to have to work on getting some kind of hinge. It looks like there was one there. I believe we do have like a piano hinge that we can screw onto there and mount onto that. And this area here is where all the geese will be going. I don't know if I can get in through the section. I'll probably go in the other direction. But there's the rabbits here, the female rabbits. And I think she's just going to leave this poly as well. Usually the bottom section here is poly. This is the south, so it allows the light in to keep things warm. Okay, we are now inside the building. So this actually used to be our, it was an addition on a trailer when we first moved out here to the 10 acre woods, or the 9.91 acre woods, which doesn't roll off the tongue as nicely. This was our addition. So this was our daughter's room, Tiana. It is now a workshop. And then of course this door went outside, which is now the barn. So if we walk back into what was once the den, We have a wood-burning fireplace and air conditioning and whatnot. This is kind of storage for our grain, as well as we've got a bunch of merchandise that we did have made up. But of course, you know, having merchandise and you know, different sizes, it can be tough to sell it off. So now we have a store on Teespring. So if you want to check that out, there's a link in the description as well as at the end of this video. Now, those of you who've been watching, there was a chicken and a chick. So a chick came in. We took this chick, we tried to feed it, and it was just not doing well at all. So we had a broody hen, and we brought the broody hen out and put it in with the chick, and the chick perked up. So it's amazing on how nature works. And there was a lady that contacted us and said, that chick and that hen, I'd like to get that off of you if available. So we said, yeah, no, that works. And this is something that we do. Animals come in, they don't all go out and get rehomed, and they don't all stay here. If there is a good fit to a good home, then we'll look at rehoming if that's something that we want to do. So that's kind of how we work here. Animals need a little rehabilitation, and of course people need some kind of rehabilitation too. So we open up to the public during the warmer months on weekends. And that just allows them to come out and just see the animals, and a lot of people haven't been close to animals. So there's something that, you know, there's that feeling that animals bring to people when they can go out and they can pet them. And of course, you're working both with the people and the animals, so both benefit. So that's kind of what we do here. It's that human to animal interaction. And then of course, bringing those animals in to help where we can as well. Here we are. Oh, I hear Fernando. Fernando was put in here. Fernando, are you back here? Mommy put you inside because she was worried about you getting your tootsies all cold, hey? So that's something that happened this weekend. It is Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend. Thanksgiving is all about the harvest, about you know, celebrating the harvest. So I guess the harvest happens later in the US than it does in Canada because of the weather, and thus is probably the reason why November is the American Thanksgiving and Canada celebrates the Thanksgiving in October. So Fernando was on the news. So he, I will put a link in the description. I did test out, and it looks like you can view it if you are in other countries. I tested out the US, and it looks like you can watch it. So I'll put that link down in the description as to his interview with CBC Media. So he's in here. Who else? We've got little Atlas back here. We've got this gate here, just to kind of make things a little bit more, you know, if we get different animals in, we can segregate the areas. And then of course Princess. Hi Princess. So Princess Piggy is, well, she came in a couple weeks ago, and she does have a slight limp. Some people have noticed it. I've mentioned it in some of the videos. But it's because she has she's a little overweight, which is something that is concerning with pigs. Yeah, you have a little bit of a limp, but you are extremely friendly, aren't you? Yes. Yeah. So she went around to different homes, different foster homes. Oh, you want me to rub your belly? Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, she was in a few different foster homes. She was getting a little bit aggressive. Now, pigs are pigs, and it does work if you have pigs in your house, but they need a lot of attention, a lot of care, probably more so than dogs. And really, pigs are meant to be outside. So she is going to be inside now. We may put her back out. She hasn't been introduced to the other ones. So we're going to see how, she might just stay in here for the winter months, and then we'll introduce them in the spring. We're not quite sure. We'll figure out where we're going to put all of our animals. But she was, I believe she's a year and a half old. And she went around to numerous foster homes, and she was not fitting in. So we brought her here, and she is fitting in. Well, she's fitting in nicely here to people anyway. She hasn't really been introduced to any of the other animals other than, of course, Fernando and some of the roosters. Hey, girl. Yeah, you're a good girl. And she's got her little poop corner. So they are very clean animals. Her poop corner is there, and her bed is there with her little zebra blanket. Hey? Yeah. Hi, Atlas. Atlas is a Sarama rooster. And behind Atlas is are the guinea keats. Guinea keats and guineas, guinea fowl. So they are in this section, and they'll be in here for the winter. And then nothing in this area at the moment, but this is basically where the mama goats come in the spring. So that's this area. So you got this whole section to yourself, Fernando. Yeah. Okay. So the chickens and the pigeons and peafowl over on that section are closed in. With all that snow, we had the peafowl enclosure, the netting on the top caved in. So we decided to close them in. So everybody's in here. And there's still a few pigeons that are outside. But what they'll do is they will nest in the building there. Hannibal! Hannibal's like, where's the food? Where's the food? Hi, hungry Hanny. You got food hanging out of your mouth. So Hannibal is about 12 years old. So he's an elderly sheep. And we didn't think he was going to last too long when he first came in, but he is doing great. Hey, Shadow. Hi. It was the end of season. There was quite a few apples that we had come in. So I think they got spoiled. We've still got some fresh veggies, and then during the winter, they do get fresh veggies every weekend. So now they tend to come up to you, and it's like, oh, you got apples? Bronwyn. Bronwyn's still a little skittish, so sometimes it takes them a while to come around, but she is a haired sheep. And then, of course, we have Willow. Willow, where's your little baby, Meadow? So Willow came in pregnant. The three of them, Shadow. Oh, there's Meadow there. Shadow, Willow, and Levi up front all came in together. Of course, we gelded Levi, and that calmed him down, but he had already impregnated Willow here. So we were kind of expecting this little one, and then she did arrive. Hey? Hi. And then, of course, you want to give as much attention to them as possible so that they are used to people versus just kind of being wild. Hey? Yes, you've grown up nicely. We do have this smaller area in here. This is where Sheldon, George, Moira, and Daisy, that's where they are. And what we're going to do is it's a smaller area. We're going to expand this out. Hi, Daisy. They go out into that run there. But I think we're going to move around some of this and possibly give them this area here, or possibly even this area over here. They don't need much more, but they do need a little bit more area. Sheldon, what are you doing? You're just going around in circles. Is it snowing out? Oh, yes, all that snow. Yes, you silly boy. And Lucy. Hi, Lucy. What are you doing, girl? Somebody mentioned about putting together a story about Sheldon. Maybe that's something that I'll do, more of a winter project. I've got all the footage. Sheldon is a great story. He was given 0% chance of survival by the vets, and he beat those odds. So it's always good to have a nice feel-good story. And then George. So this is George's first winter. He was outside, walking along the edge where there was still grass, and he was baaing, and I could only imagine what he was saying. You know, what is this white stuff out here? It's cold on my little hoofs. So this is the area that they mostly hang out in when it's wintertime. We have mom and daughter here eating away at the hay. We've got a bunch of hay stations. So we've got here, we've got another one over here, and then of course around this corner here. You want to just make sure that, you know, they are able to get away from each other, and food is can be a big concern. So sometimes they don't like to share. And here's Barry. Barry, where's the others? They must be out wandering around. Barry. Hi, bud. Here is Tinker, one of the sheep we have. I guess they were hanging out. The other ones must be outside other than Hanny. Yeah, because Hannibal's here. Oh, what is going on here? Okay, so Coco. Coco's the brown one there. And last winter, she would sleep on top of the pigs. And it looks like she still wants to get up on top of them. We're going to get some more hay in here. The pigs will move the hay into that area and make a nest, because that's where they're going to spend the winter months. And Coco just wants to get up on top of them. So we have Coco, Snow, and Blackie. Yeah, not quite enough to cover yourselves. So usually what they'll do is they'll burrow right in. So we'll get them some more hay in here. We've got some straw on order. So we're hopefully the guys can get it or have gotten it off the field, because there was a little bit of delay because of the weather. Yes. So this area here was mainly a spot for the pigs to go, but as you can see, the others like to come in here too. So outside, it is mucky, right? That's Shanzy, right, Shanzy? And there's the other two, Paula and Marley. Oh, look at how mucky it is out here. Ugh. Okay, well, here. So I hadn't been out here, but here's the netting for the peafowl pen, and you can see how it is caved in. We want to redo this area. Whoops! We want to redo, as long as it's not going to come down here. We want to redo this area. Maybe I'll come out and use some of the wire framing that we got from a store that we got all the racking. So we've got somebody that can do welding. So we may do something. Of course, it won't be until next year, but something in here to redo this area. The ducks and geese probably love this, the mud. I'm not going to be able to go too far. But you can see the outside of the rabbit hutch there. You can see the poly. So the geese are going to all go in that area. The geese and ducks are all going to go in that area. We want to get that storm door on, and then we want to get that other sliding door on so that we can expand it out a little bit further in there to give them as much room as possible. Right? Yes, Muscovy ducks need to go in. -10 is about the coldest they can handle. So they're a big concern when it comes to winter. So we have Muscovy, we have Muscovy, we have Muscovy, Muscovy, Muscovy. And then we have two Czech geese here. And the other geese, oh, there's another Muscovy back out further. No, there's another Muscovy. So we've got quite a few, and the reason why we do get them in is because they need special, in this kind of harsh environment, the cold winter, they need somewhere to get in, and sometimes people will get ducks and not realize their needs, and then they start to lose a couple when it gets cold. and then they just don't know what to do, so they'll contact us, and we'll take them in. And in that building is fine as long as they're off of the any kind of snow and they're on some straw. It stays fairly warm in there with all the other ducks and geese, but the ducks and geese, the others, can remain outside. They can really remain outside all winter. But we tend to put them all in. Ooh, I'm going to fall here. We tend to put them all in just because it's just nicer environment. These are the two new ones that came in. I thought they were chocolate Muscovies, but they lost their brown. Am I going to be able to get over there? Oh, it's supposed to be a lot warmer next week, so that is good. Get rid of some of this, melt it. Hi, Paula. You're so funny. Alpacas are so funny. Because we've got a few things to do, and one of them is to pull the pump out of the pond, which is down there. So we'll pull that out. This will drain somewhat. This will freeze over completely. We don't want to leave it open. There's no need to. There's a risk of animals going across and falling through if it's kind of left open. So yeah, mostly everybody's inside. We've got Lambert. Although Turbo, I didn't see, wait a minute. No, this is Lambert. No, this is Turbo. Oh, look at his ear. He lost his tag. I didn't know, because Turbo's a little bit... Oh, sorry, is it sore? Yeah, there's a hole right through. You lost your tag. Now how am I going to tell it's you? Probably because you're the bigger one. Huh, I wonder if Tara knows that. You lost your earring, buddy. Maybe we'll have to put a little earring in there. You've got the hole. Hey, bud. So that's Turbo, and this is Lambert. Lambert's not quite as big as Turbo. You're a little more slim, aren't you, buddy? That's funny. So it doesn't look like anybody is back there. The animals were back there yesterday. You can see kind of the path that they walked around here. But come winter, when the snow's here, they are done with the back because there's really nothing back there for them to see. And all of their food is in here. Are you guys done? You just want to stay inside? Oh, Shelton. It's funny because they have their water dish out here, and you can see this path that comes out, and it only goes to the water dish and then back in. So it's like, that's it. So we do have automatic watering system, which of course we don't need now, but we're going to be shutting all that down. We're going to be putting some buckets of water out here for these animals, and they get checked regularly. And then of course inside. So we'll probably have their water in there. We'll have to figure that out because we didn't have that smaller section. We usually put Sheldon and the others in during the winter. So of course there's a hose here that's out that kind of runs across. We got to pick that up, clean that up. Looks like Tara's just got it, got a little stream running just to make sure it's nice fresh water. So that is it for this video. So it's kind of an update on how these guys are doing, what the animals are doing, the snow, record-breaking early wet snow of Manitoba. I was checking out a couple other YouTube channels, and there's one up in Alaska, and they don't have any snow from what I can see. So yeah, we just got lucky. It was a big dump, and hopefully it's all over. So that's it. There's a bunch of new subscribers that have come through. I'd like to welcome you to our channel, and I hope you stick around. If you aren't subscribing, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button, and you know, there's more to come. So until next video, take care and have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.